Welcome to Middle East Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: Israeli strikes in central Gaza kill at least 35 as Netanyahu says war will continue for months. U.S. forces sink Houthi boats in Red Sea after attack on Maersk vessel. Mideast stocks Egyptian bourse registers biggest annual gain since 2016. Maersk halts Red Sea shipping after U.S. shoots down Houthis missiles in Red Sea. Can he condemn the killings without causing more pain? Israeli strikes in central Gaza kill at least 35 as Netanyahu says war will continue for months. Associated Press. At least 35 people have been killed in Israeli strikes in central Gaza, according to hospital officials. The military is targeting areas across the territory, despite international calls for a ceasefire. Israel's offensive has killed more than 21,600 Palestinians and wounded over 55,000, according to Gaza's health ministry. The bombardments have also destroyed large parts of the territory and displaced around 85% of Gaza's inhabitants. Israel expanded its offensive to central Gaza this week, targeting densely populated neighborhoods that house refugees from the 1948 war. The destruction and length of the war have raised questions about Israel's goal to quash Hamas as well as its plans for post-war Gaza. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said Israel must maintain open-ended security control over the Gaza Strip, without specifying what will happen next. He also said that the internationally backed Palestinian Authority will not be allowed to participate in any future rule over Gaza. This position puts Netanyahu at odds with the Biden administration, which supports a unified Palestinian government running Gaza and parts of the Israeli-occupied West Bank. Thousands of Israelis protested against Netanyahu on Saturday night, one of the largest demonstrations against him since the war began. U.S. forces sink Houthi boats in Red Sea after attack on Maersk vessel. Al Jazeera. The U.S. military has sunk 3 boats belonging to Yemen's Houthi rebels in the Red Sea as the U.S. continues its patrol mission to counter threats from the rebels. The Houthi boats attacked the Singapore-flagged vessel Maersk Hangzhou, prompting the U.S. to respond in self-defense. The U.S. has established a global naval task force to safeguard shipping in the area, but attacks on commercial vessels have continued. Mideast stocks Egyptian bourse registers biggest annual gain since 2016. Yahoo! Most stock markets in the Middle East ended higher on Sunday, with the Egyptian index chalking up its biggest annual gain since 2016, helped by investors hedging against high inflation and a weak domestic currency. Saudi Arabia's benchmark index rose 0.3% on expectations of interest rate cuts in 2024. Meanwhile, the benchmark index in Qatar advanced 2.3% but was up only 1.4% for the year. The Bahrain bourse registered a 4% annual gain while the Oman market was down over 7% for the year. Maersk halts Red Sea shipping after U.S. shoots down Houthis missiles in Red Sea. South China Morning Post. Shipping company Maersk has suspended shipping through the Red Sea for 48 hours after one of its freighters was attacked twice by Yemen's Houthi rebels. Maersk confirmed that the Singapore-flagged Maersk Hangzhou container ship was hit by an object on Saturday evening after it had passed the Bab al-Mandab Strait en route from Singapore to Port Suez, Egypt. The ship was initially able to continue on its course before 4 boats later approached the vessel, opened fire and attempted to board it. The attack was repelled with the help of a military helicopter and the ship's security team. Israelis and Palestinians end dark year, with no end in sight to war. South China Morning Post. As the year draws to a close, there seems to be no end in sight to the deadliest military offensive on Gaza, triggered by Hamas' bloodiest attack on Israel. Palestinians surviving the onslaught are in despair, with dire shortages of food, safe water, fuel and medicine. The UN says that Gaza is just weeks away from famine. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel's war against Hamas would last for many months until the Palestinian militant group has been eliminated. The fighting has intensified tensions across the region, with Yemen's Iran-backed Houthi rebels repeatedly targeting vessels in the Red Sea shipping lane with strikes they say are in support of Palestinians in Gaza. Israel has also traded frequent cross-border fire with Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah movement. Walkout weapon, British school students battle curbs on Gaza war protests. Al Jazeera. Students in Luton, United Kingdom, have faced backlash for protesting against their college's links to an arms company supplying weapons to Israel. The walkout was organized by the school's student council, which was later disbanded by the school leadership. The council had raised concerns about the college's relationship with the arms company, Leonardo, and had suggested organizing a fundraiser for Gaza and the occupied West Bank. The students also discovered that an organization delivering workshops at the college, Shout Out UK, had previously worked on Home Office prevent programs, which have been accused of disproportionately targeting Muslim students and pro-Palestine activism. The crackdown on pro-Palestine advocacy has sparked concerns about freedom of speech in the education sector. Israel is a major arms importer, with the UK being a steady military ally. The UK has licensed arms worth over £442 million, $563 million, to Israel between May 2015 and August 2022. Demonstrations have been held outside arms factories that produce parts for Israeli fighter jets, and students have also highlighted the intersections between the UK's education sector and Israel's war machine. Leonardo, one of the world's largest arms companies, has supplied naval guns and helicopters to Israel. The company has participated in career fairs at British schools and colleges, including Luton Sixth Form College. The crackdown on pro-Palestine advocacy has been met with a chilling effect on students across the UK education sector. Students and concerned parents have signed an open letter calling for Luton Sixth Form College to reinstate the Student Council and sever ties with Leonardo. The students have argued that their protest and advocacy for Palestine is part of their right to freedom and British values. The crackdown on pro-Palestine advocacy highlights broader concerns about freedom of speech and the conflation of pro-Palestine activism with extremism in the UK's education sector. Death toll in Gaza rises as Israeli attacks continue in north, south. Yahoo! The Israeli Defense Force, IDF, have continued to attack targets in the Gaza Strip, as the death toll in the area continues to rise. The IDF has stated that they have attacked terrorists near Gaza City, with the help of ground troops. There has been a focus on eliminating Hamas from the area, which led to the IDF storming the headquarters of the extremist group in the city of Khan Yunis. The IDF has also uncovered more tunnel shafts in the south of Gaza, and destroyed explosive devices in a kindergarten. Abbas advisor slams Israeli plans to control Gaza border with Egypt. Yahoo! Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas advisor, Hussein al-Sheikh, has criticized Israeli plans for longer-term checks on the border between the Gaza Strip and Egypt. Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu has proposed regaining control of the Philadelphia corridor and the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing, as well as the creation of buffer zones and new security arrangements in order to ensure the demilitarization of the Gaza Strip. Al-Sheikh believes that these plans undermine agreements with Egypt and terminate all pacts with the PLO. What's the Philadelphia corridor border zone that Israel wants to control? Al Jazeera. Israel has declared that it wants to take control of the entire Philadelphia corridor, the 8.7-mile stretch of land that acts as the border between Gaza and Egypt. The corridor was established in 1979 to act as a buffer zone to prevent weapons and people from entering the Gaza Strip. However, Israel's statement has led to fears that it plans to reoccupy Gaza. Both Egypt and Hamas are against this move, and Egypt has said it will not allow Palestinians to be displaced into Egypt. The U.S. has stated that it opposes any reduction of the geographical limits of Gaza. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.